Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a QVC beauty haul. They kindly allowed me to go on and spend. I was literally like a kid at Christmas. They do so many amazing beauty brands over on QVC that I actually didn't know were on there. QVC often have special deals that you can't get anywhere else on the internet. So it's so worth keeping an eye on to see if what you love comes in at a better deal. They do supersized versions that you can't get anywhere else that are always exclusive to QVC. So today I'm going to do a little makeup tutorial using some of the products I picked up, and I'm also going to do a split screen now of my hair. I actually didn't know that QVC stocked Olaplex. As soon as I saw it, I was like, that's going straight in my basket. So if you don't know, QVC offer over 300 beauty brands, which is insane. I had no idea that they did that. And with QVC, if you don't already know, they always have kind of exclusive offers only to QVC. So you might have seen a little while ago I featured the IT Cosmetics foundation, and I had the normal size version and the super size version, which you could only get on QVC. So I picked up the Olaplex shampoo and conditioner, which is new to me. I've used Olaplex 0, number 6 and 7 together, and number 3, and I purchased the number 6 bonder and the 7 oil, which you'll see in my video that I'm basically almost out of, so I'm really pleased to have another one of that. You know, I'm a bit of a hair buff. I love my hair. It is all natural, so I do my best to look after it. And Olaplex is incredible. When I go to the hair salon, I always request that the Olaplex is put into the bleach so that when I do have it lightened, it's causing a lot less damage because of the Olaplex that's in there. So it's a really great bundle to have. And obviously everything that I feature and talk about today will be listed and linked below. Also, if you want to learn more about each of the products, you can go onto the QVC website, because when they are live on air, they normally do a little talk through and a how-to of the product, how to use it, more info about it if it comes in various sizes. So all of that can be found on the website even after it's aired on telly. So when I went through the beauty section on QVC, I knew I wanted to start with sunscreen. So I picked up this 4-piece collection by Ultrasun, and this is their anti-pigmentation collection, which you know is something I suffer with. So I thought it was a really good collection for me. I am going away at the end of the year, fingers crossed, for my wedding. So I thought these would be really good. I can pop them in my suitcase and me and Tommy can both use them. Not the tinted one for Tommy though. So it comes with a lip SPF. This one is SPF 30. Does this remind you of the classic lip balms we had growing up? So you mustn't forget your lips when you use SPF. This is also a broad spectrum SPF, which means it covers both UVA and UVB. Next up we have the Ultrasun Protection Tinted Anti-Pigmentation SPF 50 for the face. So this one is tinted and it also is really moisturising, and it's also really lightweight. So if you're somebody that's on the go and really does only like a tint, you might find that this is enough for you. Also in this set was the SPF 30 eye cream. A lot of people forget to cover their under eye with SPF. Make sure you've got enough on there as well. And the last one in this 4-piece set is the hand cream. This one is SPF 25, again broad spectrum. I always keep an SPF in my bag for my hands, usually SPF 50. It's equally exposed to the sun as your face is, so it's really good to make sure any skin that's exposed is covered with SPF. It smells nice, smells like holiday. Part of the haul, I picked up the Estee Lauder Double Wear. It was a duo and a concealer on its own. So I got the Illuminating Radiant Perfecting Primer and also the Double Wear Stay in Place Foundation. I don't think I've ever used Double Wear on my channel in the history of YouTube. I tried it this week when it came in. I really like it. I'm quite surprised because I've never used it on myself. It's never one I gravitate towards, but now I really like it. I feel like the formula has changed over the years. It used to look and go on quite thick. So this is the illuminating primer. I really did enjoy wearing this actually. Even with my oily skin, I didn't think I would, but I really did. You don't need much, you need a little bit. And you can pop this all over. It's not radiating in the sense where it looks like it's got loads of shimmery particles. It just adds a lovely glow to the skin. It's a great base to put your makeup onto because your skin will be really hydrated. As you can see, it just adds a beautiful glow to the skin. I feel like it's quite essential to wear this under the Double Wear foundation because it is a matte finish. So to have some kind of natural radiance shining through, unless you're putting this on with a trail, you will see this coming through. I wasn't sure what shade to pick up. I got 2N1, which is a neutral. Still, the only thing I really don't like about this foundation is the fact that it doesn't have a pump action and that it's in a glass bottle because you can't get all the product out. That's the annoying thing. You can't kind of say, oh, I'm going to use one pump of it because it doesn't have a pump. So you kind of have to pour it onto your hands. The other day I used my fingers to apply it. Really loved it. So today I'm going to use a sponge, more so because I'm in studio lighting. So this set was £59. And as I said, I did pick up the concealer, but I'm not going to use the concealer today. I'm going to use another product that I picked up that I've not used on my channel before. I wouldn't have even thought that QVC would have stocked Estee Lauder, but apparently they do. I was so surprised about how many different brands were on QVC. So you can see it's definitely full coverage. It's got a high pigment payoff, but it is lightweight, so much more so than it used to be years ago. So I would definitely use this foundation on myself, knowing now that it doesn't look so thick compared to how it used to. So although my face looks very flat at the moment because again it has that high pigment, it doesn't feel like I'm wearing anything. So I'm really impressed. And again, this set was £59. So for the two, I think it's quite reasonable considering they are high end. As I said, I did also pick up the double wear concealer, but I'm not going to use that today because I'm going to use a different one. But I've used this in the week and I really love it. Just building my eyebrows before I move on. The rest of the makeup section, I decided to concentrate a lot on Tarte products because you can't get them anywhere else in the UK other than on QVC. Tarte is normally one of the first sections I go to in Sephora when I go to America. So it's quite fun that you can shop them on QVC. So I was very excited. So I kind of got a little bit of everything because I don't really get to try it very often. And I've never actually tried the Shape Tape. This is the Tarte 4-piece Shape Tape Coveted collection. It comes with this really pretty bag. It also comes with the mascara, the Shape Tape pressed powder, Shape Tape concealer. Also this eyeshadow set, which is really pretty, but I'm not going to attempt to open it with one hand, am I? She says, doing it anyway. This is the eyeshadow palette. It's so pretty. Again, it's really portable because you can just roll it up. It also has a little mirror in there as well. I got the Tarte Tartelette in Bloom palette with the brush. I know this is a palette I would reach for a lot because it has a lot of neutral tones, matte finishes with a couple of shimmer shades there, something for everybody, would suit all skin tones, and it also comes with this dual-ended brush. I also got the Tarte Shape Tape concealer on its own. This is just in an alternative shade in case the one that came in the 4-piece set didn't suit. This is the Shape Tape mini setting powder. I also picked up the Tarte mini Shape Tape Pore and Prime Balm and the Base Tape hydrating primer. So I will use some of those in another tutorial because I've already got my base on, so I won't be using the base makeup. This is the Tarte Tartelette 2 in Bloom palette, and the first shade I'm taking is this matte bone shade, which is called Charmer. I'm predominantly going to use just this brush that came with the palette to create the entire look, and I'm using the fuller side of the brush to really brighten the inner corner of the eye. The next shade I'm taking is also a matte finish. This is called Smarty Pants, and it's a medium sandy brown, which I'm taking on the outer corner of the eye, and I'm working that in circular motions, blending it up and through the socket. With my eye shape, I do like to pull the eyeshadow outwards just to elongate the shape of the eye. So we are creating a bit of a V shape, but again, it really is dependent on your eye shape and the look you want to create. For me, this is a nice way to contour the eye. So take your time when doing this, build it up in very light layers, so soft washes of colour until you're happy with the intensity. Going into this deep chocolatey brown called Activist, which is also a matte finish. Once again, using that fluffy end of the brush, I'm buffing this on the actual lid of the eye, keeping it to the outer third, and then as we buff that around in circles, we're going to softly blow it out into the colour that we've already applied in the socket. The key when using matte eyeshadows is to really use a light hand. As I just mentioned a moment ago, it really is important to do this in light washes. If you go in with too much too soon, you'll find it can look quite patchy, intense in certain areas. If you take your time and do it in light washes, you'll find it won't look patchy. You'll also find you get less fall down if you do it in light washes. So you should have something that looks similar to this. Next we're going to go in with a warmer brown, and we're going to start adding a bit of warmth over the area that we've just applied that Activist shade. Just before we do that, I'm going to take the shade Charmer and Flower Child, which are both matte finishes, and I'm going to reapply this over the front half of the mobile lid, and then just very softly buff that over the outer edge. Sometimes I like to buff between the two shades to really get a beautiful gradient. So now we're going into that warmer brown that I told you about before. This is the shade Leader. Again, it's a matte finish, and I'm now buffing over the outer third where we applied Activist and blending that seam between Activist and the two light shades we've got on the mobile lid. Next I'm taking the shade Jet Setter, and on a very small brush I'm going to buff that underneath our lower eyelashes. For this you can use the fluffy end of the dual ended brush, but I'm just using a slightly smaller one. Going back to the eyeshadow palette, I'm taking the shade Smoke Show, which is the darkest in the palette. It's almost like a slightly browny black, and using a wet small eyeliner brush I'm dipping that into the powder and using that as a very soft eyeliner super close to the root of the top lash line. This is the eyeliner brush by Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's really good for this kind of look because it is slightly pointed, which makes this next step really handy. I've dipped the very top of the bristles into a tiny amount of that powder and I'm running it between the root of the lower eyelashes. So it's almost like having an eyeliner but not. Then I'm going in with my Kevyn Aucoin eyelash curlers to give them a little crimp. I like these ones because they're not too rounded, so you can get every single eyelash. Then I'm going in with the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes Mascara, and I really like this, especially for lengthening and building thickness, but I do find it is a little bit flaky throughout the day, only a little bit. It hasn't stopped me from wearing it, but it probably wouldn't be one that I would always reach for if I had the option. However, I do love it on my bottom lashes. It's a really, really lovely mascara for lower lashes. Okay, so I'm not going to make too much of a thing of this section because I didn't get it in the haul. However, I am going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills new face palette in the shade Italian Summer, and I'm loving this. I'm just using it very quickly to bronze up the circumference of my face and also sculpt the cheekbones. I'm also going to use the beautiful shimmery coral shade on my cheeks. If you do want to see more of this palette in action with a little bit more of an in-depth how-to and info on the palette, let me know and I will use it in a future tutorial. On my lips I decided to use something quite peachy. This is by Dalla Palma, and again it's not one I got in the haul, but I will list it below for you because I can't remember the name of it right now. So I just quickly went over my face with the new Anastasia Beverly Hills face palette. Because this is more about the QVC haul, I decided not to kind of make a thing of it, but if you want to see it in another tutorial, let me know and I will include it. I'm just going to go with a little bit of the Tarte Shape Tape. This is in the colour 22 Light Neutral. Now obviously this is a heavy duty concealer and I only need a very little amount. As you can see, I don't really have dark circles. I tend to use concealer just to brighten. So I'm going to pop a little bit here, just where my eye naturally dips, just to lift that area. And I'm using a synthetic bristled brush, and this will just ever so slightly lift that dip. If you have quite heavy bags, you don't want to put the concealer on the bag because it will just make it look more obvious. And that's it, that completes today's tutorial. I'm not going to set my skin because I have got a mattifying foundation on and I feel like if I put a powder on it would just make it feel more matte. So I don't want to do that. Instead I'm just going to leave it as it is. But if you want to see any more of the products in future tutorials, let me know which ones you want to see down in the comment section below and I'll make sure to include them in another upcoming tutorial. So a huge thank you to QVC Beauty for allowing me to do some shopping to share with you guys some of the amazing brands that QVC offer. I will link all the products below. If something I featured has just been aired on QVC, it's likely to have sold out, but it will come back in stock. So check back if there's something I featured today that you want to go and shop and it's not there on the store. Check back within a couple of days and it should be back on. And I also have a Like to Know It account. So if there is a look that you've previously seen on my YouTube channel that you can't find anymore because you can't remember what tutorial it is, you can shop all of my looks by my photos over on my Like to Know It account. Thank you so much for watching. Please give the tutorial a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Come follow me outside of YouTube over on my social handles, which will be on screen for you now, and I will either see you over on my social accounts or I'll see you again here next week. Bye.